Pain is not always loud. Sometimes it hides, waiting in the quiet corners of our lives. It lingers beneath the smile, beneath the achievements, beneath the mask we show the world. We think time has erased it, but time does not heal unspoken wounds. It only buries them. And in the silence of our nights, the old whispers return, the sting of rejection, the echo of loss, the subtle neglect that taught us, you are not enough. To escape this pain, we build illusions of strength. Some drown themselves in endless work, chasing success as proof of worth. Others seek validation in fragile relationships. Outwardly, these masks shine, but inside they prevent the healing process from truly beginning. Avoidance is only a delay. The wound still bleeds beneath. Unresolved pain resurfaces in many ways. It is the anxiety before sleep, the fear of being abandoned, the doubt that no achievement can silence. Without trust, trust in ourselves, trust in others, trust in life, the heart feels trapped in its own prison. But there is a doorway. The first step is recognition. To pause and whisper to ourselves, yes, I am wounded. Yes, I am carrying this burden. This is the sacred act of letting go. Letting go of denial, letting go of pretending. In this honesty, the healing process truly begins. Through mindfulness, we sit with the wound instead of hiding from it. We breathe into the ache, we journal the words we never said, we rest in silence long enough to hear the truth. Pain is not our enemy. It is a messenger, calling us back to ourselves. The paradox is beautiful. When we dare to face pain, we begin to taste freedom. By trusting the journey, by letting go of the mask, we discover that even our deepest wounds can lead us to transformation. Pain hidden in the dark is a prison. Pain brought into the light becomes the path to healing, freedom, and transformation. Pain grows heavier in silence. We convince ourselves that hiding our wounds makes us strong, that no one would understand, that keeping everything inside is safer. But isolation only deepens the ache. The truth is simple. If we do not share our pain, it consumes us. The act of opening up is the act of trust. To tell a friend, a therapist, or a loved one, this is what I carry, is not weakness. It is courage in its purest form. Vulnerability is the bridge between loneliness and connection, between despair and the beginning of healing. When we share, we discover that we are not alone. Others have also faced loss, heartbreak, and betrayal. Their stories mirror our own, reminding us that suffering is universal, and so is the possibility of healing. This shared humanity dissolves the illusion of isolation. Connection is more than words, it is presence. A friend who listens without judgment, a partner who holds us as we cry, a community that welcomes our truth. These are the sacred spaces where the healing process deepens. Through trust and connection, we feel safe enough to begin letting go of shame, guilt, and silence. In today's fast-moving world, true connection is rare. Technology keeps us busy, but it does not always make us seen. Yet our hearts are wired for intimacy. We are meant to heal in the presence of others. Every moment of honest sharing weakens the chains of isolation and strengthens the light of belonging. The paradox is clear. When we reveal our weakness, we find strength. When we share our wounds, they begin to close. Connection transforms isolation into freedom, silence into voice, and pain into transformation. Healing is not a solitary act. It begins the moment we allow another soul to walk beside us. For much of life, we measure our worth by doing achievements, titles, responsibilities. We believe that if we accomplish enough, the old pain will disappear. But the constant chase only exhausts us. The real healing process begins when we shift from doing to being. Being is presence. Being is authenticity. Being is the courage to exist without constant striving. It does not mean giving up goals. It means releasing the illusion that achievements can erase loss or silence the ache. Through mindfulness, we practice being. Sitting in stillness, breathing deeply, noticing the rise and fall of thoughts without judgment. This is where healing begins to root. In stillness, we uncover truths buried beneath the noise, our real desires, our hidden wounds, our quiet resilience. Being reshapes relationships. When we no longer seek validation through performance, we can show up with honesty. Instead of hiding behind perfection, we build trust through authenticity. We listen more deeply. We love without conditions. We allow others to see us as we are, not as we pretend to be. This shift is also an act of letting go. Letting go of perfectionism, letting go of the compulsion to prove, letting go of fear that we are never enough. In being, we taste freedom. We discover that our value lies not in what we do, but in who we are. The paradox is beautiful. In slowing down, we move forward. In resting, we grow stronger. In being, we find transformation. Life is not a race to be won, it is a journey to be lived. And in the quiet presence of being, the deepest healing unfolds. Awareness and presence open the door, but daily practice sustains the healing process. Just as the body requires consistent care to recover from injury, the soul needs steady rhythms to transform pain into peace. Therapy offers a sacred container, a space of trust where wounds can be named and released. Journaling allows us to pour out grief and loss, giving shape to what was once invisible. Mindfulness practices like meditation, conscious breathing, and gentle reflection keep us anchored when storms rise. The body, too, carries the burden of trauma. Movement, whether exercise, yoga, or even a quiet walk, becomes medicine. It releases stored tension, creating space for healing to flow. Nourishing food, rest, and hydration ground us in stability. When we care for the body, we strengthen the roots of resilience. Connection is also a daily tool. Honest conversations, laughter with friends, or belonging to a supportive community prevent isolation from taking hold. Through connection, we remember that healing is not solitary. The key is consistency, not perfection. Some days practices will feel effortless. Other days they will feel heavy, but even small, repeated steps accumulate into lasting transformation. Daily practice is also about letting go. Letting go of self-criticism, of rushing, of the need to do everything perfectly. Healing is not linear. It is a rhythm of progress, pause, and renewal. By weaving these tools, therapy, journaling, mindfulness, movement, rest, and connection, into daily life, we turn healing into a lifestyle. Each practice is a thread, and together they form a net strong enough to carry us through future storms. The goal is not to erase pain, but to live with greater freedom, strength, and peace. Through practice, we transform suffering into resilience, wounds into wisdom. At last, when we have faced the shadow, shared our story, embraced stillness, and practiced faithfully, something remarkable emerges. Transformation. Pain does not vanish, the scar remains. But the scar becomes a story, not of defeat, but of survival. Loss does not disappear, but it no longer defines us. The healing process turns wounds into wisdom, fragility into strength, brokenness into beauty. This is the paradox. The very things that once broke us now form the foundation of our resilience. Those who endured heartbreak often develop compassion that heals others. Those who live through trauma become guides of hope. Healing is never just for ourselves. It is also the light we carry for others still in the dark. Transformation shifts perspective. Where once we asked, "Why me?" we now ask, "What can this teach me?" Suffering is not romantic, but it is not wasted. Every tear becomes a seed of empathy. Every setback becomes soil for growth. True transformation is freedom. Freedom from the chains of fear, freedom from the weight of silence, freedom to live fully, love deeply, and trust life again. And yet, transformation is not the end. It is the beginning of a new way of living, a life not defined by pain, but refined by it, a life not enslaved by loss, but liberated through letting go, a life guided by mindfulness, rooted in trust, and overflowing with healing. This is the gift. Scars turn to wisdom, pain turned to strength, wounds turned to beauty. Healing is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one written in freedom, courage, and transformation.